Welcome to our Cricket Chat YouTube channel. We are joined by one guy that for years I've known him as a cricket lover, somebody that I came to know about him when my first time in Kampala, which was in 2002, if I'm not wrong, and he has gone through, or if I say he has gone through the ranks, and now he's one of the main commentators of cricket, working with ICC or any other organization that comes to work with commentating any commentary of cricket in the region. And he's none other than Ugandan, a born Ugandan, I'll call him a Ugandan legend because he has been there for the game for a long time, Ndawula. Innocent, welcome to Cricket Chat YouTube channel.
I am very, very humbled to be here.
I know you are a Cricket Chat WhatsApp group member.
A silent one. I only come once in a while, but I read everything. It's one of the groups where I don't miss anything.
So maybe what do you know about, apart from just being the member of the WhatsApp group, what will you say about what influences the WhatsApp group had for you?
The WhatsApp group, first and foremost, it is full of people who are very passionate. It is full of people who gave so much to the game of cricket in Kenya. That WhatsApp group has also forced changes, both directly and indirectly, to make sure things are better for Cricket Kenya. Cricket Kenya is not in the best of places, but it could have been worse without Cricket Chat. I'll give you a scenario. For example, from where I come from in the 4th Estate, Cricket Chat put the media in Kenya under the pump on why the game is not getting coverage. I've seen my boss, who is at Nation Media, Elias Makori. He did wake up. Of the few papers that I've seen around the ground on every single day, like for example this Connect Cup, T20 Africa.
There's a Nation Media
There's a Nation reporter, Otieno, and Chris Omolo, the veteran celebrity journalist, photojournalist, he's always been there. And the Nation has reopened up. At one time, Makori even gave an offer to any person in the cricket circles
to train somebody.
Yeah. I know Beryl tried, Yogi tried Halak there. There was always in the media, when you start out, you must start out as a pro bono service provider. Then if you're good enough, you get a contract. I know there was a problem in the beginning. Money doesn't come that fast, like the Kenyans love it. Yeah, in Uganda, lots of work people do there for the game, and they go without pay. They just put their bodies on the line and hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Now, Innocent, as I said at the beginning, I've known you for a lot of things. I first came to know you about you the first time I came there in 2002 with the girls team. Then within few years, I could see you playing for Wanderers. You're playing for Wanderers. Then again, now you are here commentating. Briefly, if you can take us through your cricket journey to where you are now. How did it all start briefly?
Cricket journey started in 1997 in a school, St. Charles Ruanga Kasasa, that's on Masaka Road. We were lucky. Uganda had the era of Mr. Lozias Nainawo, William Kamanyi, when they were still traveling to schools.
Yes. As
we were lucky, we got Samuel Lusimbi to come to the school in Masaka, and that's how I learned the game. I was very good with the hand games, table tennis. I was one of the top players in table tennis, badminton. So I thought I could come and maybe do something in cricket, because it was a hand game, and I was seeing there was an opportunity for me to play an exotic sport, because previously I'd just been around volleyball, basketball, lawn tennis, and then I also tried karate, where I was kicked once and I woke up in the sick bay of the school. I never went back there. So that's how the game they started. And then my biggest experience is when I went down to play the school's cricket week, which is a very big tournament, a conveyor belt for many players in the national setup of Uganda. I played in the cricket week at my first attempt to play the game. I was selected among the 14 people. And when we came down to Lugogo, Kampala, there was something called the AKEF Egyptian Circus. And what impacted me most, we were given 24 sodas each, a coupon of 24 sodas each. You can drink the soda anywhere, whether you're playing in Chibuli or Lugogo, Chambogo, at Makerere College. you can use your coupon to get soda anywhere at the cafeteria.
Was that during the
That's the
entire tournament?
Entire tournament,
day?
yeah.
Okay.
Entire tournament. And then we were
And the tournament was a week?
Yes, a week. School cricket week, yeah. It was a week. You report on a Saturday and you leave on a Sunday morning. The next Sunday morning. We also got T-shirts, Coca-Cola. So those were big things, and it was a big hit around town. The advertisement, the coverage was super nice. That stayed on me for a long time. The meals we were getting were super nice, and I was seeing guys who people were calling East Africa's finest, like Richard Senpai was playing for East Africa at that time, Benjamin Musoke, and these were already legends, and yet they're still in school. Also, for the chance I got to appear in the newspaper, sent a message to my dad that I will not be leaving this sport anytime. So I came through the ranks, I would say, and mainly I was a product of many coaches. Many people touched me. From what we had in the last interview, Kina Frank Nsobuga, Joel Olwenyi, Charles Rwanga, the late former opener of Uganda, William Kamanyi himself, our coach at the under-19 level. When I played club cricket, Samuel Lusimbi touched me, and I was able to get a place in the college for higher education, Makerere College School, because of being part of the Wanderers setup. Thanks to John Tilobia, the former Uganda captain, who was in the Wanderers then. So I came through the ranks. Then I went on to play for Jinja Association of Cricket Clubs, the big team in Jinja, because I thought I was not getting enough opportunities in Wanderers, and I wanted my game to develop quickly. I went to Jinja and I was made captain after 4 games by the late Justin Linjalinji Senior. He died nasty road accident,
with the wife.
With the wife in Miganga. I mean, their souls rest in peace. He gave
me the father to
Justin Linjalinji, the ICC development officer. Justin Linjalinji. And the former secretary of Uganda Cricket Association, Dan Linjalinji. So I went on to captain Jinja for 2 years. That was
So you were traveling by that time you were staying in Kampala?
Yes.
So every Sunday you traveled?
I used to travel sometimes Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday you trained. And then there was one guy called William Blake, is now an IOC, International Olympic Committee member, the first one I think in Africa. He's the former rugby chairman, president in Uganda, and also is the former president of Uganda Olympic Committee. He was playing some good cricket. It's called William Blake, but he was working for the beer company Nile Breweries in Uganda, and he had a double cabin pickup. So many times he used to pick me up from Lugogo. We go together on Sunday morning. But as I grew older, and there used to be big parties on Friday in Jinja, and I had now bigger friends, more friends.
You could go on Friday?
I could go on Friday.
You party for 2 days?
I party Friday. Saturday we practice, have a nice rest, and then we roll off on with the games on Sunday. So, and then I come back with William Blake. But since when I was in the holidays, I got a chance, and I was being checked into a hotel across Jinja, the Oval. There was a hotel there, Answorth Hotel, and I was being paid for by Nile Breweries to stay there. So I got very lucky, and we had some big expatriates from South Africa who were working for the main factory of Nile Breweries in Jinja, and they came through to play. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I was one of the captains who pushed teams to the wire and made Jinja win as many games as possible. People here, Charles Waiso, for example, Chobe, Arthur, Hamza, Saleh, these are names that are familiar to you. I was captaining them. Yusuf Nanga Odoyo, aka Odoyo. There's a guy who gave out the Play of Match Award the other day. Paulo Katega, who works with Deloitte, is a director in Deloitte here in Nairobi. He was also playing for that team as a top order batsman. Emmanuel Isanez, all these guys. So I was from there. I was summoned to come back to Kampala by ACC Simon Nsobuga. After 2 years in here, I said, I think now you're a big boy. You can make the team.
When was that?
And that is 2002. At the time, I got a chance also to play for the under-19. So because going to Jinja, my game developed so fast.
So you got into the under-19. Any major achievement or any major tournament that you remember you played for under-19?
The biggest of them all was us beating Kenya at Simba Union
202
in the 202 in the East African Cup final. That was very memorable. I remember that day.
That the team that had Maurice
Ouma, Nehemiah, Alfred Luceno. Yes, that was the team that had those.
Rajesh Budia.
Yes. So that stayed. Malindi, yes, was one of the young boys there.
Sam Auma.
Yes.
Alex Obanda's brother.
Yes. So that's the first time our coach William Kamanyi allowed us to go out and have a beer. But of course, as youngsters,
did.
you're always up to no good, so you sneak in 1 or 2 here once in a while. And then we came back, I think, for another East African tournament where we played in Ruaraka. And it was also a very good tournament, but we lost that one. Yes, but the high was beating Kenya in the final. It's always been a dream for any Ugandan to beat Kenya in any sport. That's why they call them one of the biggest and most fiercest derbies in Africa. But be it football, yeah.
And after playing for under 19, how did you continue? How did your international career progress?
International career came to an end because of school. My father was intent on me bringing his degree back home. He said, "It's my degree, not yours. I need it." And many families in Africa, all where we come from, especially like me, who comes from a big family, and there weren't many people who had finished school. So I was looked at as one who would break the jinx. And I told myself, you will play club cricket, but you will bring the degree. And also at that time, what happened around 2005, I was dropped twice. I was called to the national team setup because of my abilities as a left armer. There were a few left armers, and I was being looked at as one of the finest left-handers. And then I was dropped twice on the development team that went to Malawi and Zambia. That had our current chairman, Michael Nwaga, were playing in that one, and Henry Osinde, Kina Emi Kibirango. I was dropped for indiscipline. The indiscipline was I was given out by the umpire, and the umpire was a friend of mine who I used to share with a meal, Henry Katol, the Rasta, and I kept arguing with him that that's not out. That ball didn't pitch in line. That's not leg.
You were talking to him as a friend.
No. I was very
serious about it
and throwing my bat around. And that was the last 12 match, and the selectors led by Mr. Robert Chisu. We were watching up, and that put fate. That was my end. I paid the price for being a little bit arrogant. That set me back, but I managed to continue to play cricket. Especially, I was very successful in ACC. I picked up so many wickets. Once a best bowler in the league, and then 2006, 2007, we won the league. Those are my highs for the club cricket. And then I had to mix. By then I had joined the media. One of my best friends was a son of a rich man called Wavamuno in Uganda. He owned Spear Motors and WBS Television back then. He inspired me to bring it on he said because the dad was giving him money for free when we were in the holidays. So he told him, you guys are sportsmen, can't you do a sports story every day, one sports story? You bring it to the news desk,
we publish,
and then we publish it on TV. Then I will give you money, because anyways he was giving the Sun money. So the Sun.
So he wanted you to work for that. You to work
for the money. Yes. And he kept asking, what does your friend do? What does he do? Then he says, my friend plays cricket. He's always in Lugogo. I said, Lugogo, there are many sports there. Usually you can bring a hockey story today, boxing story tomorrow, badminton, cricket, tennis. The son, of course, the son of a rich man. 2006, university time, he was taken to the UK to study. In Ndawula, you can't go to the UK because your father is not the richest of them all. So as I stayed back to do university at Makerere, I had gotten the grades from Makerere College Schools. And Makerere College School used to brag that it's the only college in a university. So we just crossed over and went to the university. And the son said, now that I am away,
continue.
He said, you have a chance to get a job. I won't tell my dad, they give you at least you be a freelancer. So I said like that to become a freelancer. I found myself learning very quickly, covering very well football. So and sports was in the blood, because in Lugogo, that's where the national team of football, the Cranes, used to stay. Kina Majido Musisi the late.
And also that's where the headquarters of Uganda Sports Council.
The National Council of Sports, yes.
So everything happens
in Lugogo, and that was my home. So it was easy for me to get stories. Even sometimes after training, I used to just call the cameraman. I used to call my boss. I say, send a cameraman, there's a story here, they're flagging off a team. I became a big journalist at a very young age, and I got a big TV show. By then I used to have, we were demanded to have hairstyles for TV. So I used to have what you'd call, back in the day, wet look. Like soft hair, which is curly. because of being a TV personality. So already while I was at the university, I was playing club cricket and doing TV work.
Show.
TV work as a
And
journalist.
also writing for...
I wasn't writing for the Monitor. I only came to join the Monitor when I went with the team for my first ever trip to 2005. They went to play in England first. Then they went to Dublin to play in a World Cup qualifier. First Belfast, then Dublin. So because of being passionate and being a journalist, I used it to write to one of the sponsors through my boss at the workstation to get some sponsorship to go. My story is very long. If I can speak about my story, I will go on and on. But in a nutshell, the international career ended early because TV work was mob. I was already a mini celebrity. I had school to do. I remember my father wanted his degree.
Yeah.
And there was a parting life when you grew up at the university.
Yeah.
The parties
So,
become more.
so at the end of the day, what was affected much was your cricket.
Cricket, yes, cricket lost out. Not in the terms of
Getting involved, but just
involved.
playing time.
Playing time,
was
yeah,
affected.
but I was always around the team. I used to come through national team trials, play a game on a Saturday when I'm free. I used to be called upon in the net sessions to bowl for the guys, some left arm. But I knew the last nail had been hit in my coffin as a cricket player, then for on international scene at that time. So I went on to play club cricket. I joined another team of youngsters where I was a mentor, charity cricket club.
So you could play for those. Have you started playing for the Baguruzi League? Or you're still not yet?
Bagurusi League, I think I qualified now. They say you have to be the 40 somewhere, all 40 around the West, all 40 in age. So I think I qualify for the Bagurusi League now. But I don't want to play those games that are not very competitive. So once in a while I played some games for the Bagurusi, especially when they go to play in Rwanda, all they play amongst themselves on a social weekend, or in memory of someone.
One of the things that I like about Ugandan cricket culture is that there's space for everybody. You've got the mini cricket,
Yes.
and then you've got the schools program, whereby now we've got what you just mentioned, the cricket week. Then there's a club system, the club program, there's a national team, and then there's a Baguruzi. For those that don't know Baguruzi is a league, a competition that is organized by Ugandan Cricket Association for the old guys over 40 years plus, and they play some competitive cricket. So you've just mentioned that how you got into media. Then now to the big one now, how did you get into commentary?
Commentary was something we started doing as university students. Me and some guys who played with under 19. There was Richard Ramafa, who was also my captain at the club level and our captain at under 19 at one time, and Amos Brian Chaze, who thought and said, "You're the best cricketer in our age bracket, but you're the laziest." So we used to play something at the balcony of one of the halls it's called Nkrumah Hall in Makerere University, where you were supposed just to keep the ball out. If you hit it in the air, it will go and fall like down like 7 floors down, and you'll be out. That was the rule of the game. So during the time there used to be ashes, and I used to wake up in the night to watch, and sometimes
Australia now.
And we used to wake up to watch in the night because that's the only time you can get the television of the university to yourselves. So people used to wake up so early to watch that and the NBA games, Eastern Conference and Western Conference. So when we used to go there to watch, we used to mimic and call ourselves Mike Atherton. We used to call ourselves all the same Jeffrey Boycott. Actually today one of the IC guys, Kuben Pile, calls me Innocent Ndawula, Jeff Boycott. Come on Jeff, let's go do this, let's go do the toss. He calls me Jeff Boycott, and we used to mimic the guys, how they commentate, how they analyze, and it sounded like a joke. One of the games that are happening at Lugogo, it was a series, Afripals versus Kenya versus Uganda. Of course, Afripals was a selection of real quality players from Kenya, and some who were on the brink of making the team. So they came to Uganda. So I just was in Lugogo, and they looked for an MC. There was no MC that day. I got hold of the mic because I was in the media. I said, commentating, smashing for.
Was that before you got into doing work with the newspaper and TVs?
Yes, much earlier. Yeah, so I started like that. Of course, along the way, I was saying some controversial things like for example, I talked about my best friend Jimmy Command at one time, how he had been called for throwing and the IC level, and now he's turned a spinner, and that didn't go down well with him. We didn't talk for a day, but it was long buried after 2 drinks later in the evening. So we said a lot like a joke, the commentary, and then I was in the media. Then I was on TV and talking about the game. People started calling me the face of the game in Uganda because they were saying, "Who this man who's covering cricket, where nobody else understands." I remember when we started out, I think I was 2 or 3 journalists that understood the game. When you go to Uganda today and you find 120 journalists covering cricket, you as a media manager, I feel sorry for my mate Dennis Musali, who is now head of media and communications at Uganda Cricket, having to convince the board to give the journalists a meal as a bare minimum, even if there's no transport refund for them, because it takes a toll on the budget of the association. No association would like to pay as much or spend so much on media, but the association have learned that over time, it's the media
that is passing this information
out there, and they're doing it for free, and the mileage we're getting is worth millions of shillings. The last award we won, the ICC Digital Engagement Award, was because of the work of the media. Musali, you might say innocent. A few people like Marion, who is the media manager of the team on this tour, Marion Malinga, are the people that did the job. But no, it is the fans. Our fans do engage a lot on the media, very passionate and very analytical, and they push for answers, even from the chairman, who they have included into their WhatsApp groups by force. And the chairman is responsive because he's the chairman of the new generation. Is a young guy like Kenya. You have a nice man in Manoj who played the game, who is supposed to do better things for Kenya. So you push him a little, he will get the fruits flowing. So that's how it's been. Back to your point there, the commentary. It went on like a joke until first real opportunity to commentate came around the series Uganda played back at home. Victoria series in 2005. Zimbabwe demanded for them to play. They had to be on TV so they can give the people back a stream, because they were heavy on analysis. And many of us countries in East Africa, we didn't look like an analyst as a person of importance in the team. So that alone made me grow and recognize that I am. But the real break for Innocent Ndawula to become a commentator, COVID was a blessing in disguise. It hurt many people. Many people lost their dear ones. Many, at least every family in the world was affected. But COVID did bring a sense of need for live streams, because there were restrictions on people coming to the stadium. So everything had to be put on TV.
To watch whatever is happening.
Yes, because I didn't know I could commentate golf, but in the COVID times I am now a golf commentator as well. And I am lucky. I'm telling myself, you're lucky you're a journalist who took time to go out and learn these games and play them. Not many people like to hold a microphone when golf is going on or lawn tennis, but I'll comfortably sit behind the comms box and deliver the game to the world, which is a very beautiful experience and very humbling, because the remarks you get from people, you learn, and then you get some praise, and then you are taught something, then you listen to yourself and say, I could have done better here. It's the learning curve continues. It's not I cannot say I'm a finished product, because I would like to do a World Cup. I've done a World Cup qualifier for the women.
You need to do the men.
Yes,
you need to do
Nairobi is here, but if Zimbabwe came calling, I would have been in Zimbabwe at the World Cup qualifier, because as you learn, you sit with the big boys, Ian Bishop, my idol Pomelo Mbangwa, Pumi. You sit with these guys and you learn. Then also, I must take you back. 2012 was a big chance for us to be commentators when SuperSport came with the East African Premier League and the East African T20 Cup in Nairobi and Uganda and Mombasa. That was a big experience. Being on SuperSport really exposed me.
Did you commentate that?
Yes, I commentated that with another Ugandan, Davis Torinawe, who is now the development manager for Uganda Cricket Association. He's the big man there in charge of development and all these small tournaments.
I think I should, I'm planning to come to Kampala. I should meet him.
And he's a friend.
I worked with him. I remember I worked with him in Jinja.
Yes, and I know he's a very close friend of yours, because I remember one of the tours I did come for 2004 as a young journalist. I didn't have where to sleep, and we slept somewhere near in your home. We used to skip some gutters and you kept us there very safely, me and him.
Yeah,
So,
I remember.
yes,
I remember the first way Uganda was doing. It was like you came for Intercontinental Cup.
Yes, Intercontinental
against
Cup.
Kenya.
Yeah.
So, Innocent, as you wind up, you've mentioned something about commentators. You mentioned something about involvement of media in Ugandan cricket. Here you are a cricketer, you are a cricket commentator, you are a media guy. Then, luckily, you are working with a media house that is both in Kenya and Uganda, Nation Media
the
Group
ICC.
and the ICC. What advice will you give to media back here in Kenya?
The media here in Kenya.
In regards to as far as cricket coverage is concerned.
The media here in Kenya. I was on TV the other day on KBC with Daniel Wahome, Joseph Angara, and the Rwandan coach, assistant coach Adeline Tuizere. The media in Kenya have become armchair or desk journalists.
You're waiting for news to come
They
to
were
them.
waiting for news to come to them. They call for results.
They'll go to cricket chat, look for results. Yeah.
They'll ask for an image. Do you have an image of the man of match? They sit back and then they play a blame game saying, we don't have as much software, I didn't have transport. But the journalists back then, Kina the later Mwangi, who is one of the guys who really loved me when I came to Kenya as well, and got me to start contributing to Nation, even when I was not working for Nation then. I was in just TV alone. But now, because I moved, when I came back from the UK in 2007, I moved from the TV and I went to the newspaper Daily Monitor, which has now also TV, NTV Uganda, and a radio station. The media here should rewind the clock and look when cricket was big here. There was a lot of development. At the helm, at the peak of their powers, Kenya cricket had a media, that media center there was always full for the games at Gymkhana. The games Uganda played between Kenya and Uganda and Tanzania, when girls used to bowl 60 wides at Saali, Eastleigh, they used to have many journalists. Today those journalists have gone away because maybe they were old generation journalists, but the young journalists should be interested. How do you interest them? The association must hold refresher courses, must invite the journalists for a media workshop, must give the journalists a play day to know that this is the sixth. That they can have a feel of the game. Yeah. The best journalists in the world today will always be people who played the game at one time, or who are friends with the players, or who do hang out with the players, or who stay close and come to the games. And on an evening, say if I would like to have a beer, let me go and have it in Lugogo and watch a team trade. You will get that extra information that nobody else will give you, but because you are ego-eyed, your eyes will tell you this is it. And that is an edge, because if you're looking for Innocent in Uganda, you won't find me at home.
Find me at a cricket pitch.
You'll find me at a cricket club. You'll find me at a soccer stadium. You'll find me at the golf club.
Where the story is.
I go look for the stories. And those stories make the difference. That's why that's why you get the term people call you celebrity, because when you come on air, you're going to say something that will be enriching to someone, not something that is even a blind man can see. So it's very important that first, the sports today, go back and trust the journalists. Show them a little love. What do you mean by showing them a little love? Give them a lunch. Give them a transport refund. Give them a 500 transport refund, a 1,000. It's not easy to maintain, it's not sustainable, but when you start it out, and then make sure your people are supposed to speak. There are journalists who look for many people out there, and they say, I am busy, I'll call you back. Then call back. You call him, he says, he doesn't pick your call, he blacklists it, many elders. So that's why many journalists use the opportunities. When there is, for example, a big tournament like this one, Continent Cup, they'll ask questions that don't pertain the tournament, but they will ask a political question, because you've denied them the space to ask those questions.
They have found opportunity.
Yes, so the elders, the leaders, must be as open as well. Must leave and must create an open door policy. Keep the doors open for people and have them to do the right things they need to do.
Innocent, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate your time. You've shared a lot with us today. You've actually made us get to know the other side of you. There are those that knew you as a cricketer, there are those that knew you as a media guy, and others knew you as a cricket commentator. And
I have one final remark.
yes,
My final remark and my final plea is for Kenya cricket to stop fighting. Even World War I ended, even World War II ended.
yes,
I am very emotional about this and intentional. Kenya cricket must stop the fighting, because Kenya cricket are the powerhouses. Everyone in Africa knows, everyone in the world knows Kenya for what they did, especially in 2003, beating Sri Lanka at the Gymkhana. Collins Obia's 5-wicket haul, what is in my memory. He went on to become a big star playing for Warwickshire, coached by some of the bigger legends there, and playing in the semi-final. Everybody knows Kenya. When you say you're Uganda, they say Kenya cricket. Is this Kenya? You're saying Uganda, they're asking
but
you, is
they
this
ask
Kenya?
about Kenya. Yes.
Kenya, because Kenya
Has a name.
has
Made
a
a
name,
name.
made a name. The fighting must stop. When Kenya are at their peak, the rest of Africa will develop faster. Kenya are what in European history we learned, saying if Kenya cough, the rest of Africa will catch a cold. We need to catch that cold again. We need to catch that bug again for the game to thrive. Kenya, stop fighting.
Yeah, that was Innocent Ndawula. He's just winded up with a call to Kenyan cricket stakeholders, Kenyan cricket fans, anybody associated with the game, this wonderful game of cricket. Stop the fighting. Come and fight on the pitch with the ball and the bat. But any boardroom fight is annoying. It's annoying us, it's annoying everybody. And it's just a pity that that advice has come as far as Uganda. So those with ears, you've heard the call, and we just hope that you've heard the call and you're going to adhere to that call. So thanks so much for watching. Innocent, thank you very much, and all the best as you pass the message of cricket to the world.
Thank you very much, and just continue praying for me to scale the heights and you see me one day on the big screens.
So until next time, thank you very much, and share and like our YouTube channel. Thank you very much.